G'day and welcome to another big edition of the MCDFNL Footy Show. Thanks to our great mates over the Bendigo Bank. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined by Mitch Tinning, the MCDFNL Operations Manager. It's been a good few weeks of finals, mate.
Yeah, it's been a busy few weeks. A couple of great games that we've seen so far, and I think we've got a couple of crackers still to come.
Spot on there, mate. Now let's look ahead to let's look back to week one of the finals. We did see some great games, and that's obviously shaping up to what we're going to be seeing this weekend. But Carisbrook advanced to the preliminary final with a big win over Harcourt, 23-14, 152 to 7-8-50. The Redbacks did make a statement in that game, mate.
Yeah, massive game. Harcourt actually kicked the first 2 goals of that game in the first probably minute and a half, and we thought, we've got a good game on our hands here. Carisbrook was going to get touched up here by Harcourt, but no, Carisbrook came out and they kicked, 23 of the next 28 goals, which is pretty enormous, including Minari's 100th, which was good.
Yeah, was that met with much fanfare on the day?
Oh, look, there was a few claps, but I think by that stage of the game, I think there wasn't much of a game left, and so there wasn't really much happening there. But well done to him, and well done to Carisbrook for getting to the prelims. Magnificent,
mate. Natty Biaba advanced to the preliminary final with a big win over Talbot. 10-15-75 to 10-6-66. This was a tough game on paper, and the Hawks did take it up to the Swans way back then.
Yeah, I didn't see this one, but it must have been a great match. And look, Natty, they came out firing at the start, and it was all catch up from there for Talbot. I think they may have even hit the front or got even at one stage of the game, but yeah, Natty just too good in the end.
Yeah, that sets them up for a preliminary final match, which will be this week, and that sent Talbot into a big game, which over the past weekend. Navarre, well, they continue to be the final specialists with an 18-13, 121 to 88-56 win over Royal Park. A great win there by the Grasshoppers back in week one of the finals that certainly set them up with some momentum heading into the other weekend. It's one of those teams that will not go away.
No, that's right. Good win for Navarre. The game, I think, on the day felt closer than what the margin probably shows. Royal Park were actually pretty competitive. But I think it's been Navarre's top-end talent that deserve the credit for their form at the moment. Their top players there really showing some great form in the last couple of weeks.
I think Slorridge bagged 4 goals in that particular game too, to be the leading goal kicker for that one. And the other game, which the fairy tale run unfortunately did have to come to an end, it was Trentham that was too strong for Maldon. The Bombers, well, they surprised everyone. It's something we've been talking up over the last probably month or so about their dream run of the finals. They were able to get there, but they weren't able to match it with the Saints.
Yeah, that's right. Look, well done, Maldon, for making the finals. But yeah, Trentham showed them how it's done. Well, at least on that occasion anyway. They unfortunately couldn't repeat it on the weekend, Trentham. But yeah, too good for Maldon on that account.
Fantastic, yeah, great win by the Saints. And we turn our attention to the weekend just gone to sort of set up some of the matchups, and it was Harcourt who were they started off very strongly against the Redbacks in week one of the finals, and they continued that on the weekend against the Saints. In fact, they continued it so well that the game was pretty much over at quarter time.
Yeah, look, form suggested this game would be close. Obviously, Harcourt lost that first qualifying final by over 100 points to Carisbrook, but Trentham, yeah, they bowled in that first week. So, look, Trentham were in good form. Harcourt maybe not so much, but
Saints might have gone in there almost favourites, I think, with the form, particularly heading into finals.
Yeah, we were certainly predicting a really close game, and look, Harcourt, to their credit, they bounced back really strongly after that disappointing week one loss, and yeah, they got it done pretty easy in the end.
Yeah, they did that in style. 17-10, 112 to 4, 7-31. I think it was 12 goals to 1 in the first half, so that was all she wrote in that respect. So well done there by the Lions to roar back into it. And Navarre, well, I think they slipped under the radar of a few teams. It was Talbot, unfortunately, going out in straight sets to 2 quality sides. They got done by Navarre. I think Slorridge, he kicked the lazy 7 goals on the day, and in a match-winning performance to get the Grasshoppers over the line.
Yeah, exactly right. Talbot, they'll be really disappointed. I mean, they came pretty close to Natty last week, and another close game to Navarre on the weekend, so they'll be pretty upset. But yeah, what a game we had. Look, Talbot were in front most of the day. At 3/4 time, they actually had a 4-goal margin, so he thought that might have been enough. The feeling around the ground on the day was certainly that Navarre were going to come back and fight hard in that last quarter and hit the front, and they did. There was a bit of a breeze favouring that end, of course, but 6 goals, I think, to 1 point or something in that last quarter, which shows how much Navarre had there. And yeah, you're right, Aaron Slorridge was probably one of the best on ground with 7 goals, and Josh Folks was playing some of his best footy. He's obviously a star, and I thought Jesse Hannett was also great as well.
That's absolutely fantastic. And then Cyrus, 11 goals in 2 games of footy in the final, shows he's in great nick. And I think it is, you highlighted, it's a bit of a shame there with Talbot because they did get within a couple of kicks of Natty in week 1 of the finals. They win that game, they've got the preliminary final. But then they go down in a game where they were favourites to win for most of the day, and they get rolled again. So it's going to be a tough pre-season for them in terms of how they bounce back from that. Because really, it's probably just a lapse of concentration, maybe sort of 10 or 15 minutes that cost them a spot in the prelim, or if not, maybe a grand final.
That's right. I know something went right for them that first week. They'd be playing in the prelim this week, and they wouldn't have had to come up against Navarre, who are obviously firing at the moment. But yeah, Talbot will go away this off-season and have a good think about what they need to do, and they'll come back stronger next year. They had a good season overall. They just couldn't quite get it done this final series.
Probably likewise with the Saints as well. Probably just need to recruit a few more stronger bodies in that team, and they'll be a lot more competitive, and maybe top 4 spot will be there for them if they're good enough.
Yeah, Trentham, they'll be happy. I mean, they won't be happy that they're out, obviously, but they'll be fairly satisfied with at least they got that win in the first week, so that sets them up for the years to come, and hopefully they can get that second win or get top 4 next year. Yeah,
I think they were probably, at the start of the year, we were sort of talking up that they might be a sort of a top 4 side anyway. They just missed out on that, but they were able to get that first win. To make it a week 2 of the finals, probably something they haven't done too many times over probably the last sort of 15 or 20 years, is exceptional to them, and something that they can build on for the future. And we'll see how they go from there. But certainly the opening 2 weeks of the finals were fantastic, and we're going to look into week 3 a little bit more closer later on in the week. Thanks to our friends at the Bendigo Bank. Thanks to you, Mitchy, for jumping on board, mate. We'll catch up with you later in the week.
Thanks, Yeendy.